Hello, I'm happy to see you all here. Your attendance shows that these webinars are important and that you all are interested in RMS as a platform for IoT solutions. During my last webinar, I have presented all the different ways how Teltonika Networks remote management system can be customized to fit any user needs. And of course, if you missed that webinar, I highly suggest to watch it after this one in our YouTube channel. I think you'll find something new about RMS. The one part which I have covered and for which we got numerous requests to show how to configure it was the RMS Task Manager. And today, you will be able to see how RMS Task Manager can be enabled and used in different use cases. During the webinar, I will go step-by-step configuration process and will show how to prepare RMS for custom use cases with a real live examples in working RMS platform. During today's session, I will go through 3 different scenarios and I will show how they were configured, and we'll try to do one together. So the one scenario where I will go through will be, I will show how to add a new button and remotely initiate custom command with variables in the router. Second will be how to push unique configurations with various parameters. Of course, it's possible to multiple routers at the same time. So again, very similar to uploading the backup, but here we will have unique parameters. And lastly, we'll see how provision third-party software from RMS. At first, let's understand what is Teltonika Networks Remote Management System Task Manager. And it is RMS management part tool, which allows you to expand standard RMS capabilities in the way the user requires for his exact use case. If we would look simpler at RMS Task Manager, it can be seen as a convenient scripting tool with a user-friendly graphic interface. But in fact, it is a way more, since it allows to automate a whole process of file uploading, downloading, monitoring individual device progress. So again, if you have multiple devices running same task manager list, it will be monitored during the process. And of course, informing user about the errors and other parts, which I will cover during live demo. So with Task Manager, user can implement any function using combination of Linux commands, like in the router using scripts. And those functions can be various, starting from creating a port forwarding rule, running internet speed tests and downloading the results, turning on and off Christmas lights with I/O control, changing Wi-Fi SSIDs to unique values, controlling or configuring VPNs, TCP dumping, internet interface traffic, and way more functions can be enabled with Task Manager. But it's enough just talk about the Task Manager. Let's go and see how these free tasks which you see in your screen looks and how they were implemented in RMS. And while I'm changing my screen share to show you how it looks, let's think about these tasks. So the first task is how to push that unique configuration to multiple devices. For example, changing the LAN IP, which I will show you. So at first, we have to make some prepare work. So, and of course, one example is to prepare that file, the CSV file, which will hold the router identifier. So in this case, I chose to use its serial number and the LAN IP address, which I wish to use. And in this case, I made a bit operations and already have uploaded the CSV file with LAN IP addresses which I want to change. And for this reason, I have added more than one device. So again, few dummy devices, just to make this task trickier for Task Manager. And of course, what the real device, which I want to change the LAN IP address to 20 subnet. And just to show that the route 240, which I currently want to update using Task Manager, has different LAN IP address. So just let me connect to my device. And as you will be able to just soon see, currently my route 40 LAN IP address is 192.168.115.1. After we perform the Task Manager rules in this router, this IP address will be changed. So just remember, 115 now. So let's get back to remote management system. And as I mentioned before, Task Manager is a part of RMS management package where our routers is controlled. And this Task Manager is located in Management Manager. Here we have already numerous tools which we have tested inside and used to implement our devices use cases. And let's go to LAN IP changing. So first of all, what we have to do is to upload that CSV file to our router memory. And that's exactly what we are doing. In a Task Manager, we're creating the first task. And as you can see, this small square block. And here I'm choosing the task type, upload the file. Then using to upload my file, which is already uploaded to RMS. And from there, where I want to save it. Then the next task I want to do is get device serial ID, serial number. Since this is what will be my identifier, how I will know which IP address to choose from the file. And at this point, I'm using our Teltonika Networks command, mnf info. Then the second command is to get that serial number and get IP address from the file. Maybe one thing you might ask quickly is why I'm getting so much task, since again, quite a number of these commands can be done in one task. I choose this path since it is easier to track for the issues. Since if one command fails, I know at which part it failed. Instead, if I put all the commands in one part, I will know that whole script failed, but not which exact part. So again, using and splitting into numerous tasks, it's beneficial to know maybe what issue occurred. And we will see when we start executing them. So getting the IP address, When I get the IP address, I will send that IP and set to my LAN interface, as you can see here with this command. And of course, committing, since I'm using here UCI tools. And of course, restarting the interface to ensure that all changes take place and interface uses new LAN IP. And that is it. So just let me save everything. And I marked before route to 40. So display command, and we see all the tasks this task group will perform, and we prepare execute. And of course, for task manager to work, you must enable two-factor authentication in RMS. So again, it can be email or Teltonika ID. As you can see, it performs tasks very quickly, way faster than a person. And at this point, here we might get a timeout because the restart might take longer than RMS take longer than 10 seconds. And for that reason, we're getting timeout. We can overcome this problem by increasing timeout time, but this is not a problem for us. This is the last task which will be done. So let's get back to our device. Let's try to reconnect. Okay, expired. Let's wait a moment. So let's get our new link. Getting back. It looks like we have to generate new link since the last one is broken. So just waiting a moment, and here we have a new link. Let's connect to the router. As you can see now, just a few seconds. In fact, our LAN IP address was changed to 20.1 instead of where we had before 115. So this is how simple to perform such tasks. And don't worry, all commands which will be used in my examples we will share with the video recording. So don't be upset if you haven't managed to copy all those commands to yourself. So now let's perform other tasks and installing third-party software, which is maybe not originally was developed for our device by us. And as you saw before, I chose to go in a way with the Python, since again it's a very popular request, and of course it's very popular language for programming things in devices. And for this part, I will use rootx devices. And let's go back to our task manager, and let's review how to install the Python in Teltonika Networks devices. And just wait a moment. First of all, unlike. So again, we have the same properties. First of all, we're installing Python, so naming our group so you know what it will do. Then again, I'm splitting all the tasks into different ones because I want to know if the error occurs where it had occurred. And for this, at first, we have to use OpenWRT package manager, OPKG. And of course, we have to update our repositories to the latest version. So again, we're using the latest software. And for that, it's a very simple command, OPKG update. And of course, I want to track and have logs about what is happening with this command. So again, OPKG logs saving in the router memory. Again, here I have increased the timeout. Since I know that router will have to connect to remote server, download all the information about the repositories, since it might take more than 10 seconds, and I do not want to time out and stop task group. So increasing the timeout time. So when you're doing this, think about the timeout as well. Then acceptable codes. You all know who are using Linux commands or have a bit program experience, that each program, when done, returns code depending on execution. If it's good, in most cases it's 0, but if it's an error, it might be 1, 2, or other number. And the thing with OPKG update, it can return that error because during updates, some repositories might be not accessible, or again, it's not no more supported, but it tries to check it. And we know that majority of those repositories are updated, but it still returns the error. So to prevent issues in the long process, I'm adding acceptable code 1. Of course, I can do it in different way. For example, just uncheck stop task group on failure, but I want to know for sure that it happened. So for example, that it crashed not for other reason than missing repositories. So updating the repositories. And then we have very simple commands. Installing the Python. So I'm adding, of course, empty line to know what command were ran, and giving the information back to logs about installation of the Python 3 into our router. Again, here, giving the timeout to 7 seconds, 60 seconds, 120 seconds, depends on preferences. And of course, I'm accepting only 0 return code since I want Python to be installed. Otherwise, it has to be executed again, and the router and RMS must inform me about the issue. Then I'm installing the pip3 for requirements check for RMS. And of course, lastly, I'm downloading the logs file from RMS just to check if everything happened correctly. And of course, what happened during this process, since I do not have to connect to the device itself. So let's get back to RMS and let's try to install Python in our root x08. And you see all commands again, which task group will be executing. So again, execute command, confirming with Teltonika AD that it's really us who want to perform this task group. And just a moment. Okay, so we see updating the OPKG command. So it might take a bit of time since, as mentioned before, updating takes time since we have to connect to remote server. And that is it. The Python was installed. On fact check, since I have installed Python before in this device. So again, we can see what is happening. And of course, all download files will be located in your management files part. So let's download the file and see what information we have. So again, you can see we have information about the repositories update. So again, some reports was unsuccessfully downloaded, but that's no problem for us. And then we have the Python 3 check with installation. And again, it was installed before, and this just informing us that it's up to date and using the latest version, comparing to the repositories, and same applies to Python 3 pip. And now I think, and of course, I want to show you this process, whole process, how it's done. So just to make everything easier, let's create the task group together, and I will do this one live with you. So let's show the logic which I'm using to create these tasks. Again, my mind flow, how I'm doing and what I'm thinking, since again I want to get information about the process. So again, first of all, what we have to do, we have to name it our task group. And again, I will give you show the RMS Task Manager command, which will allow you to remotely wake up PC. And for this, you have a router must be prepared up front. So first of all, wake on LAN must be installed in the router, which I have already done. And of course, I have configured several devices in the router to be waked on LAN. And so let's focus on the task manager. So first of all, we have to name it. And it's very simple. So wake on LAN, office, computers. Meaningful name for you, which will allow you to separate the tasks between. And here we have the first task which we want to do. What I chose to do first is to check if some kind of old log file exists in the router. Since maybe you run this task not one time, not two, but you will have logs. And to ensure that you have latest logs, you first want to clear old files. So clearing old logs. And here we just add simple command, remove mp, and of course your log name. Since again, it will be in the router's memory. So etherwake logs. And etherwake is a package which enables wake on LAN. So just to remind you. So here I added my first task, removing if exists any logs. And of course, if those files not exist, I will get an error that it's not existing and it might be stop my group. So I will uncheck stop task group on failure, since if those files does not exist in the router anymore, I don't want to stop it. I want to continue, since the first task is irrelevant if it's completed or not. And now let's add second group of the tasks which will be perform all the work for us. And this task will be on LAN PC. And for these tasks, again, very simple command, which we have to initiate the etherwake command. And for it, we will use it as etc init.d/etherwake. And then the parameters will be start, again, since we want to initiate this command. And here we have to enter the computer name which are configured in the router before. And this can be done in two ways with Task Manager. You can do it with static parameter, just entering one PC if you have one. But if in case you have more than one PC and you don't want to create hundreds of commands for this exact situation, I suggest you to use a variable. And in RMS Task Manager, variables are described as a phrase which enclosed in curly brackets. So just let's do this. And I will name it my variable computer. That is it. From Task Manager part, by creating command with all parts, that is it. But I have to do one more thing here and describe my variable, which is our computer. So here my key is computer. Value, you have to give default value, since again, RMS Task Manager must send something and it cannot send empty or nothing files. So for this, let's use PC1, and in description, let's enter office PCs, and I will give the name PC1 PC2, and PC3. So we have some kind of free PCs which we might want someday wake up over the LAN. And let's save everything. Oh, I forgot one thing to mention is put all the information which I get from the router into my log file, which I will, of course, delete in case of existence. So /tmp/etherwake logs. In the same file, yes. And in fact, that is it. Now, the last part is again optional. If you want, you can skip it. If not, let's do this. I want to check what router returns, what information it returns upon executing this command. And to download file, we have to change task type here. And we can choose from 3 types. So again, command, which you already seen before, upload a file, which I have used with LAN IP configuration, and lastly, download file, which I will use it now. So let's take it. Everything changes. So again, downloading logs, and I just have to enter the path of my file in device. Since I know it's located in router's memory, so we'll use catalog and the name of the file. So etherwake logs. And now for sure, it is it. We have just created a task manager group, which can be executed in Teltonika Networks router. Let's save our task group. And let's go and choose router. Again, my root to 40. Let's go back to Task Manager. Let's Office Computers. And again, we're seeing commands. And if we press this arrow down button, we'll see what will be executed. And here we can control the variable upon execution. So let's try wake up not PC1, but my PC3. And of course, if I hover upon this question mark, I will get the description which I entered when we're configuring this variable. And of course, I am happy with my PC2. Let's try to execute the command. Just one moment, I will confirm myself here. And now everything is done. So let's try to one more time this command, and I will go to check logs, which was downloaded before. Let's try to execute one more time. And now you have seen that I have used the default value PC1 and everything worked properly. And another thing to mention, Teltonika ID or two-factor authentication must be done not every time, but every some period. So if you perform changes on command, or again, if significant time has passed from last command, and of course, if you're executing new command. So again, it's made in convenient way that you do not have to perform authenticating yourself every time you're executing the same command. Since again, it's not relevant. It's you are doing this command. We are for sure that. And let's go to our files and check what we have downloaded. And let's look our first command. And of course, what we can see is that after waking up PC2, which I have intended wake with my variable setup, and of course via the wake command using my MAC address. Of course, I have used the dummy MAC address in this case. And let's go back to another. And in case what I have to expect here, if my not remove command has not worked properly, I would receive several lines in the log. But if it worked properly, I should see only one line. And just to check it, I see only one line, and we see that I'm waking up C1, and of course it's MAC address. Again, the one. Unfortunately, I don't have it so much devices which I can wait upon LAN. With this, you can see how it's easy to create your own commands, your own task manager commands, and how it's make it easier life using them. But of course, some of you in them still have that question. I do not have any similar use cases like you just showed, and why such tool is useful and why would I use it at all? Since again, maybe I'm not interested in that. And of course, it depends on individual user company. But from our perspective, companies and their engineers with Task Manager can easily save resources on routine tasks and ensure high speed, high reaction, and quality of their work. And Task Manager, in combination with firmware upgrade, backup uploading, password management tools, can help to work with 1,000 devices and prepare them for usage in a matter of minutes without need of developing your custom tools using, again, some kind of API, and saving hours on time, which you can achieve with RMS Task Manager and other RMS tools. And one more thing, imagine the situation that some part of your solution has changed. And again, nothing breaks immediately, but you have to update your device with new information. And this can be done in several ways, of course, like connecting by hand, using RMS, WebUI access, CLI access. But just imagine how quickly you can adapt to any changes using the Task Manager, with ability to push all the necessary changes over the air into working device. In this way, you can ensure top level service in a matter of minutes or hours, including testing and preparing everything. So just think about RMS Task Manager when you have situation with where quick changes must be done, and when those changes even are unique for your device, or when your custom solution requires updating in some cases. Since again, as we have seen, RMS works with Linux commands. So this Task Manager can enable your solution service in other way, and of course, save time and money. Thank you all that you find the time to join my webinar about Teltonika Networks remote management system, and you have listened about the Task Manager, how it might be beneficial in your use case and help to promote your service in another way. If you have any questions, so first of all, make sure to check our wiki, follow us on various social media channels, and of course, if you wish to get all the new and latest information, I strongly suggest to subscribe to our newsletter. Also, all commands which I have used today, I will be sharing with the video recording. So make sure if you have any questions or need help, try to check that video and those commands will be there. So thank you for your time once again. Have a nice day or evening and bye.